Welcome to HortTube, where we talk all things gardening. My name is Jim Putnam, and this is a Nandina Domestica. This is Nandina Domestica, or as some people call it, heavenly bamboo. It's an extremely low maintenance evergreen shrub. Nandina Domestica can actually reach 6 to 8 feet in height and probably 3 to 4 feet in width, but it'd be very easy to keep this plant under 6 foot, probably between 4 and 6 feet. Nandina Domestica is best in horticultural zones 6 to 9, probably in 6A. I would keep this thing out of the north wind. Nandina Domestica is much faster growing than the dwarf Nandinas. We might get a foot of growth out of these in a single season. These Nandinas will actually grow in the sun or the shade, but in the shade they're definitely on the thin side. You won't get a lot of the winter color, probably won't even get as many berries. So I'd put at least a half a day sun on these, and this is a plant that could absolutely sit in a parking lot and cook and just wouldn't mind it. I just wouldn't do that up at the top of zone 6 where the winter winds could burn it. I've covered a lot of other Nandinas on this channel that all grow smaller than the regular Nandina Domestica that I'm holding right now. All of those would be appropriate as foundation plants. This really looks best mass planted. It works great as a screening plant if you want to just allow it to get 8 feet tall. It's best with lots of them planted together because the foliage in the winter is absolutely fantastic that way. The main attributes of heavenly bamboo is it actually has some nice lighter green foliage in the early spring. I'm shooting this in the late winter, so it's lost its red color. It actually turns red in the fall as it gets colder, and it's quite beautiful mass planted with all that red foliage throughout the winter. In a few weeks, it'll get some off-white flowers and then develop a red berry, and those red berries will typically hold on through most of the winter. I've included videos in the description of this video for planting shrubs. Really, there's nothing special for planting Nandinas. They go in the clay or the sand or wherever you want to put them. Just don't put them in too deep and don't over mulch them. But I've told people before, if you start killing Nandina Domesticas, you probably need to change hobbies. Nandinas are extremely drought tolerant. The first year it's in the ground, you're definitely going to want to keep a close eye on it, dig down a little bit near it. If it's dry, drown the space around it and then let it dry out. They will get yellow leaves, and this one actually has a few now because I've let this container get a little too dry. They'll get some yellow leaves in the center. When you see that, that's the time to drag a water hose to it. Other than that, if you live in an area with normal rainfall, you're just not going to have to do any ongoing watering on these typically. I would fertilize Nandinas in late winter or early spring, any kind of slow release fertilizer. The new growth on them is fantastic. Don't do any fertilizing on these after midsummer because if you put any new growth on them late, it will get burned badly. You can prune heavenly bamboo anytime you want to prune it. We are growing Nandina Domestica, the regular one, for also having the flowers and the berries. So if it were me and I was pruning it, I would prune it in late winter or early spring before it has a chance to put out the new growth and the flowers. If you need to get it under control though, this is a plant that can absolutely be cut to the ground. You can saw it off 6 inches above the soil line and it'll come back from that. There are virtually no pests on Nandinas. We don't really see anything chewing on them. Occasionally we'll get some foliar spotting if the foliage stays wet too long. Typically that's more of a nursery problem than it is in the landscape. And deer pretty much avoid these altogether. The only thing you could really do to hurt this would be to put it in an extremely wet space, and then you may get root rot on it. So what are you waiting for? Even you can grow the industrial, red winter foliaged, low maintenance, easy Nandina Domestica. Thank you for watching my video, and if it was helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for future videos. Also comment below with any questions you have about Nandinas. Thanks again.